Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing the paint on the Superdoof kit. I've already tried recording this video, but when I did it a few days ago, I had a mare because I had so many things going on that just made it so difficult. My gun had a whole lot of dried up paint in there because I didn't use it in so long, and I mustn't have let it soak in thinners long enough when I was done with it last time, so that was blocked. I had to clean that up. I ran out of primer, so I only got a light coat done over all the parts. I didn't even get to do the bumper really. The bumper just got some overspray on it because I had the parts sitting on it as sort of like a paint bench sort of thing. So yeah, round two anyway, because I had some primer turn up today. So I'll mix them up in a bit and do another coat, see how that looks. This primer's a little bit different than what I used before. It's meant to be a bit thicker, so like a high build primer. So depending how that, hopefully it turns out alright, and the colour that sits on top is, you know, relatively the same as the car. So anyway, I've pushed the car out of the shed under there. I've given everything a bit of a scuff up just to take the paint again, because the old primer dried, you know, obviously it had been dry for a few days, so it had some weird particulate matter in it. So I've just had to sand it all down so it's nice and smooth again. So I'll mix up some primer in a bit and do a test run on one of the side skirts probably, because you know, side skirt's down low and on the side it's quite a small area, so if it turns to shit it's not so bad. But yeah, crack into it, eh? So I've just cracked open the new primer that I got. It's the same colour, well, it looks relatively the same colour as the old stuff, but it is hell thick, man. So thick. Like, I guess it explains why they've written on there like 80 to 100% thinners needed. So the other stuff was like 20% thinners, where this is 100%, so extra thick boy. But we shall deal with it. I think I got enough thinners, so let's go. So I'm gonna have to mix this up in because I'm a pleb, obviously. I don't have a big measuring jug, so I'm putting it in like a meal prep container. But anyway, this stuff's 4-to-1 mixture, which basically means 4 parts of the primer, 1 part of the hardener. So I've got 200 ml of primer in there. So 1 part of that would be 50 ml, because 450 is 200. So I'll put in 50 ml of, it's roughly 200. It's hard to measure that stuff because it's so thick. So I'll put in 50 ml of hardener, and then probably do like another 200 ml of thinner, just because it's so thick, just to thin it down. And hopefully, so that'd be 425 or 400. It'd be roughly nearly half a litre of material of paint. So hopefully that's enough to like have a good crack at covering everything. So see how it goes. I'm having trouble getting this lid off. Jesus. Note to self, prep better. I should have got a bigger container, because I've been mixing this for so long to get it to all blend up. But the things you do, eh? Went for drifting. It's actually a better consistency now. It's more like paint. It's actually nice and runny, so it's worked out quite good. I'll mix this for a few more minutes and then put it in the gun and give it a hoon. So I just done a test spray on the side skirt and had a bit of like thick paint droplets coming out of the gun. And I think it was because there wasn't enough thinner, so I've added a bit more thinner just into the bowl there and mixed it up, and it seems to be coming out a bit better. So I won't worry about the side skirt because I'll just sand it off once it dries, but everything else should be good to go. So obviously I need a little bit more thinner than I think I do when mixing, so good. Yeah, so I finished up painting everything now. It's so thick, this primer, that it built up real good, and it's just coated everything with a nice thick film. So I only used the batch I made up, so I only made up the one batch for like 400 ml, so, and it covered it all, so it's pretty good. It turned out pretty average, I guess. I don't know what was going on. Towards the end of it, the mixture started to like thin out, like not thin out, but like separate, I mean. So it was like real thick paint and thinner sitting on top for some reason. I don't know what's going on there. I'm not a painter, so I can only Google later or something. But anyway, it's good enough for now. It's good enough to put the red over top, but the bumper's actually not too bad. Front bumper, now that it's dried off a little bit. There were a bit of like paint droplets, I suppose, coming out into some of the side skirts, I think. But now looking at it, it's actually, I don't know whether you can see it in a phone camera, but it actually looks like once it dries, it like settles and it's nice and smooth. So I've also learnt my lesson about letting the gun sit. So I've actually split the gun up into all its little components and given them a blowout, sort of took everything off, given it all a thin out and a blow, so it's ready to use again. So hopefully she wouldn't have any troubles like I did last time where it blocked up. Yeah, excellent. Alright, so we're back out in the shed after a few days. So the kit is most well and truly dry now with the primers. I've gone through and done some sanding on it just to get it nice and smooth again and get any imperfections out that come through from the primer. Everything's sanded out pretty nicely. I just used some medium grit sandpaper, like 320 grit. So yeah, should be all ready and set to go for some paint. So I'll push the car out in a bit and mix them up, do some spraying. Hopefully I've got enough red left, but I think the ratio for hardener to paint is a little bit more than the primer was, so I should better drag it out a bit further, or make it go a bit further, so should be good. So we got the car out. I've just gone through and grease and wax removed over the surfaces, just as a final precaution to try to get them as best as possible. So yeah, I've blown the shed out as well again with the air gun just to get all the dust off the floor. Well, trying to make it as good as possible for being in the shed, but it'll never be 100% like it would be in a booth, but it's all good. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, nice. Right, so we got some paint on. Show you while it's shiny, because it looks the best while it's shiny. Turned out not too bad. I just got to do a little bit more to finish off the bumper bar, and then we'll just let it dry and smack her on the car, see how she looks. Yo! So now that the paint has started to dry a bit more, it's probably a little bit thin in some places around, I've noticed, like when the sun, so it really probably wants ideally another coat, but I have actually, I used the last of my red that I had here and couldn't find any more the other day, so I'll see what it looks like when it's fully dry, whether or not I can just like bear with it, or whether or not I want to actually do another coat just to make it a bit darker, because it is quite red at the moment, but it does dry quite dark once it is dry, so hopefully it matches the car right. It is the same paint, but it's probably better to do all the painting in one go, so then like it all dries the same, I guess, and the mixtures are all the same. But I did make a bit of a fuck up, and I missed a spot on my side skirt down here, and it got a little bit of dirt in it, so that's cool. But just close your eyes and don't look at that when I drive past. Alright, so the paint on the kit's dried enough for me to fit it up and see what it all looks like. It's a little bright at the moment just because it hasn't fully dried or cured, so it doesn't really match the original paint, but hopefully in a few days, once it fully dries and cures and whatnot, it matches. But it doesn't look too bad at the moment. It's quite shiny. I haven't got the headlights in, so you can see it quite a lot brighter. I think it may want another coat still. The back looks alright though, however. So yeah, all in all, turned out pretty nice. Well, nice enough for a race car. Sweet, so that's mostly done. I just have to still drill the holes in the bumper iron to mount my pins to hold the front bumper, but that's mostly it. I think I'm going to mount these canards on the side for my old bumper. You guys reckon should I hit those on there? Or I think I might put them on anyway. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching if you got this far. Next video should hopefully be on the roll cage mods that I'm doing, just the side intrusions and the A-pillar bars, and probably the main one under the dash, just so I can get my steering wheel positioned a little bit better. So that'll be my next video anyway, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. If you like this one, obviously like, comment, sub, you know, usual stuff. Cheers for watching anyway.